Are you ready for breaking news that has a huge impact on the future of Disney? Well, we're here to give it to you. Folks, it's just come out that Blade, the new Marvel movie that was scheduled for 2025, likely completely canceled, no longer on the release schedule whatsoever. And it might be because they're making way for a different movie, for a different direction, and even, perhaps, an attempt to put Marvel back on the climb with audiences once more. We'll explain right now. Folks, welcome back to the Pro Channel. We're happy to have you. This is the place that explains entertainment and indeed keeps you ahead of the culture curve. Today we're talking about Blade, not the Wesley Snipes version, although he is going to be important in today's conversation, but rather a different version that was on the way, now no longer. And although Disney has not confirmed it's completely canceled, it's looking that way very much so. But the implications here are huge. Is it now time for Disney to set aside all of the fails they had in their Phase 4 that hit the floor, their Phase 5 dive, and what was looking to be a very Phase 6 sick and tired? Now Marvel trying to find a way to get rewired, and it could be dropping the MCU. It could be dropping some of the things that didn't work for you. It could be bringing back the legacy actors, characters, and, well, the franchises that you loved. We'll give you some hope and also explain why right now. All right, folks, breaking, and Spencer again brought this to our attention. We're going to get him and Mike in on this one. Out of deadline today, here's what we have. This came out while we were in the middle of the show, so we're about 30 minutes past publication here. Marvel Studios' Blade removed from the 2025 release schedule. Disney dates Predator Badlands instead. More Marvel stuff. A lot of you are really tired of Marvel. Maybe Disney is too. Blade is gone from 2025, and it begs the question, is Blade gone, period? We'll talk about it. Let's read the article first. In what comes as no surprise, Marvel Studios' Blade won't be coming out on November 7th, 2025. Rather, Disney is opening 20th Century Studios' Predator Badlands. The reboot of the famed Wesley Snipes Marvel movie was first announced at San Diego Comic-Con in 2019 with two-times Oscar winner, guys, help me, how do I pronounce his name again? Mahershala Ali?
You got it.
Mahershala Ali, yep.
Also, I need to point out, what if Predator Badlands is secretly a Blade movie?
Ooh. Taking out the Predators.
I think that would be awesome. Just going to point that out, Marvel. If you got the guts, do it.
Vampire Predator. Production and development on Blade hit unavoidable delays with a global pandemic and dual industry strikes. That's the defense, but that can't be the real reason because movies continue to come out and we're way past that. The project saw two directors exit, and then it goes on to talk about the problems this movie has had. Guys, my question now is, with another delay for this, are we going to get this Blade movie, or do you think this is the beginning of cobwebbing it?
No, this is it. It's done. It's completely done. This is all it's been for the last 5 years is delay after delay after, oh, we're working on it. Oh, we're rebooting it. Oh, we're restarting. Oh, no, we're doing it. Oh, no, we're restarting again. And now they're going indefinite delay. Yeah. Unless something miraculous happens, this movie's never happening.
Spencer, I think I would guess that we're not going to get the movie that they were planning to make. I think we're going to get a Wesley Snipes Old Man Blade movie. I think they saw the reaction that Wesley Snipes got in Deadpool, and I think that, and I've heard rumors that was kind of the direction they were going in addition to this Blade movie. But I think that's going to be the Blade. That's
really good. Yeah, you sold me on that, Marvin. I'm right behind you now.
Yeah, I would go see it in a heartbeat. I would love that.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to this. I had my skis laced up. I was ready to go ice skating uphill.
Well, you need ice skates to ice skate uphill, not skis. So
what do we think about the excuses, though? Because the excuses out of Deadline are, well, there was a pandemic. Well, there was all of this stuff happening. This affected every movie. So why can't they just come out and say that it's struggled, it has had major issues, and it's just indefinitely delayed, aka canceled? Why can't they just do that?
Well, there's really no reason, but I thought this movie was dead the minute Mahershala Ali started taking other projects on that were filling up the slots. This thing kept getting pushed back multiple times. It ran through, I think you referenced the directors, the writers, other production staff. It ran through a series of scripts that no one could get behind. Mahershala Ali in particular, essentially calling out the fact that he was being replaced with a chick. I think anybody who plays seriously, that's the ultimate goal of anything that's in the MCU now. Well, we need to replace you with a chick. Okay, so pretty soon you're just going to have chick superheroes. There won't be any dudes unless they're eye candy and stupid. So that means the Hemsworth has a job forever. But it as far as this film goes, I thought it was dead half a year ago, maybe longer.
Well, look at the rumors we got, culture, that were always coming out of this. He was this movie's actually a bait and switch to give you a movie about Blade's daughter, and that kept coming out. That with every version of the script, they just kept going back to that. We've seen directors leave the project. We've seen so many writers. I believe our old friend Hold DeMeo. Bo DeMeo was attached to it at one point, and then he moved on to X-Men, and then he moved on to doing things that got him fired. But yeah, I think this has been doomed from the start, and I give a lot of credit to Mahershala Ali for sticking his ground, planting his feet, and basically being like, I'm not gonna let you cast me as this character and then brush me aside.
Well, he kind of did what what's his name from Star Wars did. You're not going to Disney Plus me, and I forget his name. I don't know why, but
John Boyega.
John Boyega, yeah. I think we're going to see that more and more frequently. Is people are just going to say, you're not going to Disney Plus me.
What's fascinating to me is the idea of a female vampire movie. That's not that crazy. Just a female vampire movie that should be a Blade film is crazy. There's definitely a market out there for a female vampire movie. But why they would feel the need to do it in this way is beyond me. There was a moment way back in the day where DC came out, and it was right after Man of Steel, and Zack Snyder came out at a Comic-Con, and they announced like 3 million WB productions. And I want to say there was at least a dozen films that were announced at one time. And then Marvel came out not that long after, and did almost the same thing. And that was the one where we got the announcement that, it's Serpent Society. No, it's actually Civil War. And by the way, here's Black Panther that's going to be coming out, and all this stuff. When they do these announcements like they did, bringing Mahershala Ali on stage and saying that he is going to be Blade, and they don't even have a script yet, this just shows how confident, how overconfident they were in the power of Marvel, and how they never anticipated that they could poison the well, and that consumer attitudes would change on a dime based off of them destroying all of these characters. I mean, they basically ended everything with Endgame, and anything left in the tank was they just hit the gas, went downhill, and hoped that they had enough power to get over that next hill. They were sure it was going to work. And I don't know how they looked at Blade, which is one of the most testosterone-filled Marvel projects that has ever existed, and said, we're going to replace him with a girl.
Because they don't want their target audience. The audience they have it's not the audience they want, despite the fact that they made, billions of dollars throughout the Infinity Saga. They want to replace them with another audience that does not exist. And it has been, as Chris Gore put it, one of the single biggest misfires in the history of film. And it's something that's going to be studied for years to come in film classes and business classes as to how to kill a successful business.
It's interesting. This project not only saw one but two directors leave, Bassam Tariq and Demang, which is fascinating. I thought when that second director left, it was like, this might not be working out. This might not be seeing fruition. And sure enough, just like the Ray movie at the D23 Entertainment Showcase panel that they just held, the Ray movie wasn't hyped at all during that whole panel. So wasn't Blade. I believe the three projects they were touting there was Daredevil, Ironheart, and I can't remember the last one, but Blade wasn't part of it. And so that told me, okay, well, the studio I don't think sees this project as going forward and doesn't have a lot of confidence in it. If they did, you would have saw it featured at the Entertainment Showcase at D23.
I totally agree. This has been a project that has been dead for some time, and we have been waiting for some kind of sign that they were either going to give up and move it off the schedule. Sorry, if they were going to delay it one more time, or finally, put the last stake in the coffin. Wow, this is a Halloween themed episode a week early here, and finally let us all know that Blade was not going to happen. I'm trying to think what else they could replace it with. At this point, I think that Marvel is probably going to be taking less risks going forward, which is probably a good thing. It's kind of a shame that they view Blade as a risk, though.
It just tells you where they're at. It just tells you the issues that are going on with Marvel right now, in which they feel that Blade is a risk. And honestly, to recast Wesley Snipes, it kind of is a risk because he's so linked with that character.
And not only that, Vash, but you just put Wesley Snipes back out in front of the people in Deadpool and Wolverine and reminded them how awesome he is.
Right.
Well, I want to get a panelist on. We're gonna jump the shark a bit here, jump the line. That's more appropriate. But we've got two panelists we're going to bring on really quickly. He just joined the backstage, and I want to get his thoughts on Blade potentially being gone. It's Tom from Midnight's Edge. Tom, we're just getting word from Deadline that Blade no longer is on the release schedule whatsoever for Disney. Looks really bad for it being released. There's now talk, at least on this show, that perhaps they're going to go with Wesley Snipes instead in the future as Blade because of how popular that was with Deadpool and Wolverine. Tom, your thoughts on this breaking news?
Well, I have the fast pass, so I'm able to jump ahead. But no, I don't know if you guys remember this or not. I know Culture might, Mike might. When this was all going down, I was getting word from my old writing partner, who happens to be black. Okay, and that's only important because he was going to be possibly on the writing team for Blade, had Wesley Snipes signed up for it back then. Because supposedly, this is what he was telling me, they were in the process of negotiations with him to bring him back as either Blade or in a Whistler role, is what he kept saying. Now, I don't know if that meant they were going to try and have him play Whistler, or they were just going to pass the baton from Blade to Blade's daughter, because that kept getting brought up, was Blade's daughter, Blade's daughter, Blade's daughter. And all of a sudden, it come down that Wesley backed out of the proceedings or the talks, and it was done. And then like a day or two after that is when they had the announcement that you were just talking about, where they drug Mahershala Ali out on stage. And Andre said, "You know what this reminds me of?" I said, "What's that?" He goes, "This reminds me of the time Mark Ruffalo got a phone call and said, if there's a limousine out front of your car, front of your house tomorrow, that means you're the new Incredible Hulk." Because they were having issues with Edward Norton. And at the last minute for the Avengers to do that announcement, they brought Mark Ruffalo out. And
it was really that close. Wow.
It was really that close. And so, and I can't really confirm this because they asked Wesley a few things about this when he was out on the junket for Deadpool and Wolverine. And he didn't really clarify or say anything that would confirm or deny any of that story. He was
said
talking
something
all about Ryan Reynolds discussing it with him, right?
Did he say something about something that should be in the snow, like perhaps a snowmobile in a traffic jam? Because he really likes to go for the cold weather analogies in inappropriate places. That seems to be his go-to.
I don't remember anything like that. I just remember him talking more about the story where he was just surprised because Ryan Reynolds was trying to get a hold of him and they didn't get along. So that's the story I kept hearing. But if you go back a few months, even before Deadpool and Wolverine came out, there was that story about Mahershala Ali's manager coming out and saying, "This is unprecedented, unprofessional. I've never dealt with any studio like this before, with the delays that they've been going through with Blade." And I was hearing then, and I think I asked you the same time, Pro. I'm like, that Mahershala Ali had walked away from the whole thing, and because basically they were not going to be able to fit it in his schedule. And that was it.
Yeah, I was concerned that he got himself some fantastic sunglasses and then just ran.
Well, and then of course you guys brought up the Deadpool Wolverine thing with Blade. I mean, now at this point they'd be stupid not to bring him back after the reaction that got. And just to think they could have been working on a Blade movie with Wesley Snipes for the past 5-10 years.
Right, and let's just point that out here. They have the option, if they have two options in front of them, one of those options being we could do a reboot of Blade with a new character, no one has faith in it, or we could do an Old Man Logan with Blade. Which of those is going to sell better right now? Historically speaking, if we view Deadpool and Wolverine as an extension, as basically Logan 2. Forgive me, I have not seen the film. I know that's not exactly what that film is, but there are notes of that in it, from what I understand. Or you could do another reboot, another sequel, sorry, not a reboot quill, because it's in the MCU, with a new actor with probably a MCU equivalent being stuck in everybody's craw here. I don't think, if I was a film executive, I know which of those decisions I would make, and without question, I would go with whatever Wesley Snipes wants to do.
Well,
Find out what his tax bill is, and then come up with that amount on the salary.
Right. Well, and I think the only reason there's some truth to it is because if you look at it, Mahershala Ali is not that much younger than Wesley Snipes. So if you're going to recast him, why not recast him with a younger actor like John Boyega or somebody like that?
It's a fair point. Also,
they're not a girl.
They did have him as Cottonmouth. Not that anyone cares about that.
Well, they would have to agree not to shrink him on any more posters. All right. Well,
he was really good as Cottonmouth. Just saying, but he was dealing with Ike Perlmutter at that point,
right?
And not Feige.
And there was a severe downgrade of that show when he wasn't on it anymore. I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody on that one, but yeah, he was great as Cottonmouth.
And that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. We are done for now, but don't worry. Do not fret. Not yet, for more content is still coming your way 4 times a day right here on the Pro Channel. What a joy it has been to share our time with you. We hope you feel the same. Adding value to your every single day is our job here, and we take it very seriously. Folks, the only thing we ask in return is that you consider clicking that like button. Share, subscribe, click it. Stick it to those algorithms. It's the notification bell. And drop a comment right on down below. And folks, if you'd like to subscribe to our partner YouTube channels, That Park Place, That Pod Place, That Game Place, and some of those radio stations like Vacation Radio, well, we certainly would appreciate it. Until the next time we have the honor of spending time and being invited into your day, folks, we go on our way saying this: keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.